Mercedes Spider gear housing. What goes wrong? So today I've got in front of me this gear housing from the differential of a 560 SL, and judging by how disgusting this thing is, you can actually tell that it was run out of oil. Now this is a heavy sucker, and it's actually got a limited slip clutch pack. That's where the limited slip clutches are, and yeah, they're kind of a pain to change. But the main problem with this diff happens to be a worn out center pin. So let's talk about this thing a little bit. This problem can affect any Mercedes gear housing, even going back to cars from the 1950s. So whether you have a 280 SE 4.5 and you're getting some clanging and banging in the rear, or you have a 560 SL, which is the case here, and you're getting some clanging and banging, this might be a viable cause. Now oftentimes what happens is this gets so worn out that instead of the pin just moving up and down, which it really should not be able to do, it also starts walking from side to side. So I had this happen on a 280 SE a couple of years ago. It was so bad that the pin was actually moving inside its cage. And once this happens, you kind of only have a couple choices. You can weld it in place, or you could just pitch it and get another one. And so in this case, that's what we're going to do. Now, this thing, one of the reasons that I think it's working so poorly is because, well, it seems to me like this thing was run out of oil, which explains its extreme black color. Now we're going to grab one of these, an input shaft, 560 input shaft, which is the larger diameter unit, and try to turn this thing. And you can feel that it just has a huge amount of drag. Just does not like turning. And so, because this thing hates turning so badly, we're just going to kind of move it slowly. But you could see in here the limited slip clutches are turning, and I really should not have to put this much effort into turning it. So, how do you get to this thing? Well, I'm going to tell you how. On the side of your differential where these things go in, there's going to be a sort of a ring that has 10, 13 millimeter bolts. You have to pull those out, and those are the housings for these side bearings here. And so they literally have to be knocked out of the diff. Once you knock them out, there's a rubber ring around them. Now, very often when you have a 560 SL or similar car and you go to a Mercedes dealer, they often say, oh, your differential needs to be resealed. It's one of the biggest money makers they have figured out, because while you have to pull the axles, you don't have to pull the whole diff out of the car. So what we usually do about this is we pull the side covers out. I'm going to go get one. Okay, so this is the gear, this is the housing itself that actually, the bearing actually goes in here. And you have the spacer. Don't forget about the spacer, because this is part of the differential's manufacturing specification. But in this groove right here, you have an O-ring, a little rubber ring. And then you have a seal in here. So if these two seals start to leak, which actually they rarely do, usually if Mercedes says, oh, you need a diff reseal, they're actually lying to you, and they're just trying to find a reason to change a couple little items. So, don't always buy it. But if you do have to reseal the diff, this is where the information, this is where the leak is coming from. Anyway, if you're getting an unusual amount of play in your pinion and you're getting some clunking and banging, you could take the back cover off your diff and check this thing for play. And if there's a bunch of play in it, then you need a new gear housing like this. And if you have any more comments about your personal experiences with this issue, then leave us some feedback in the comments below. Please like, share, and subscribe. Tap the bell for notifications. If you're one of our Patreon supporters, thank you. We really appreciate you. and enjoy working on your own classic Mercedes.